Hello friends, myself Dr. G.S. Patel, working as an assistant professor in AG Teachers College, Ahmedabad. I am very much thankful to the director of HRDC Gujarat University for giving me this opportunity to deliver online session on research ethics. Friends, this is a online refresher course on value education, and today I am going to discuss about research ethic and specially plagiarism. This is the online refresher course on value education, and today we will discuss about research ethics. And in this topic we are going to discuss about plagiarism. All of us very much aware about plagiarism. It is a academic dishonesty. So in today's session I'll going to discuss what is plagiarism, the types of plagiarism, what are the provisions of UGC provisions regarding plagiarism for student and teachers, and self plagiarism. So first of all we going to discuss about the meaning of plagiarism. In this slide you can see that the meaning of plagiarism, dictionary meaning: the practice of taking someone else's work or ideas and passing them off as one's own. So this is the definition of plagiarism in dictionary. Then second one, it is taken from Wikipedia. Plagiarism is the wrongful appropriation and stealing and publication of another author's language, thoughts, ideas or expression, and the representation of them as one's own original work. This definition is taken from a Wikipedia website. You can see the source of this definition. So in this way we can say that plagiarism is the stealing someone's work or publication or his language, his ideas, his thoughts, and you claim that it's your original work. Then the plagiarism is detected. Friends, some other information about plagiarism you can see in this slide. What is plagiarism? Turning in someone else's work as your own. Okay, how can it happen? So you can see in this slide, first point: copying words or ideas from someone else without giving credit. If we copy someone's already written or published works or his idea without giving proper credit to that person, then it is called plagiarism. Second one: failing to put a quotation in quotation mark. If we are taking some information from the previous resources and we fail to put a quotation mark of that person's ideas, words, expressions, thoughts, then it's called plagiarism. Third one: giving incorrect information about the source of a quotation. So friends, it is also called a plagiarism if we give wrong information about the original source of that quotation, then it falls under the category of plagiarism. Then changing words but copying the sentence structure of a source without giving credit. If we copy some words from some sources and then we change the structure of the sentence, and if we do not give proper reference of the original author, then it is also called a plagiarism. Copying so many words or ideas from a source that it makes up the majority of your work, whether you give credit or not. If we taken so many words, means whole paragraph, and if we give for proper credit to the original source, still it falls under the category of plagiarism, because if 75-80% our work is copied from previous resources, then if we give the credit to the original author, but still it falls under the category of plagiarism. So this is the different types of plagiarism. You can see in the slide how many types. So then text plagiarism, this is already discussed in this slide. Then image plagiarism. If we taken some images which is already in the previous resources or already published by his owner, and we take that images without giving proper credit or without cite that source, then it is called image plagiarism. Same way, video plagiarism. If we taken some video from the resources, and if we do not cite properly or we do not give the reference of that original source, then it's called video plagiarism. Then audio plagiarism. Mostly this kind of plagiarism, audio plagiarism, is seen in the movie. We can say that some music director taken the audio or tune from other music director, then it called audio plagiarism. So this is the type of plagiarism: text plagiarism, image plagiarism, video plagiarism, audio plagiarism. Beside this, style plagiarism also fall under this category of plagiarism. Style plagiarism means someone's writing style. You copied someone's writing style. It is also called a plagiarism, but it is very difficult to measure what percentage of the plagiarism that document having. You can see in this slide research statistics. A survey of over 63,700 US undergraduate student and 9,250 graduate student over the courses of 3 years 2002 to 2005 conducted by Donald McCabe, Rutgers University, revealed the following analysis. You can see in this slide. The first one: 36% of undergraduate admit to paraphrasing, copying few sentences from internet source without footnoting it. Means you can see plagiarism is not the problem of developing countries. This study conducted on the student of USA, and we can see that 36% of undergraduate admit to paraphrasing or copy few sentences from the direct sources of internet is without giving proper credit. After that, 24% of graduate students self-report doing the same. 38% admit to paraphrasing, copying few sentences from written source without footnoting it. 25% of graduate students self-report doing the same. The self-reporting that they doing the paraphrasing and copying few sentences from written source without footnoting it. 14% of students admitted to fabricating, falsifying a bibliography. So this is also one kind of plagiarism. Then 7% of graduate students self-report doing the same. Another findings that 7% self-report copying materials almost word for word from a written source without citation. So this is one kind of plagiarism. They copied word to word from a written sources without citation. After that, 4% of graduate students self-reporting doing the same. You can see the source in the below this side. So the plagiarism is not the problem of developing country, but many students and academic person from developed country also done this kind of malpractice. Next, types of plagiarism. So you can see in this slide total 6 types of plagiarism I have mentioned in this slide, and the source from where I take these types of plagiarism, it is also mentioned in this slide at the below. First one, the ghostwriter. In these types of plagiarism, the writer turns in another works word for word as his her own. So if any writer take word for word of another works and he claim that this is his original work, then that kind of plagiarism is called the ghost writer plagiarism. Second one, the photocopy. The writer copies significant portions of text straight from a single source without alternations. In this kind of plagiarism, you can see that writer copies a significant portion of text straight from the single sources, not many sources, only one single sources, and without alternation. So these types of plagiarism is called the photocopy. Third one, the potluck paper. The writer tries to discuss plagiarism by copying from several different sources, tweaking the sentence to make them fit together while retaining most of the original phrasing. You can see in this type of plagiarism, writer take the material from several different sources, and another major thing that he tweaking the sentence to make fit for his work without proper citation. So these types of plagiarism is called the potluck paper. After that, fourth one, the poor disguise. In this type of plagiarism, the writer has retained the essential content of the source. He or she has altered the paper's appearance slightly by changing keywords and phrases. So friends, in these types of plagiarism, you can see that writer uh, make the changes in his writing style, so the appearance of his article or his work is looking slightly different from the original author. And in addition to that, he or she making change in the keywords and phrases, but still, if he or she not properly cited the original resources, then it calls plagiarism, and this kind of plagiarism falls under this category. Number 5, the level of laziness. Friends, in these types of plagiarism, you can see that writer takes the time to paraphrase most of the paper from other sources and make it all fit together instead of spending the same effort on original work. In this type of paper, uh, author collected the material from different kind of sources, and from that he trying to make it all fit together for his particular paper instead of spending the same effort on his original work. So this kind of plagiarism uh, is the labor of laziness plagiarism. Then sixth one, the self-stealer. It's the new word, self-stealer, and UGC also gave a guideline about this kind of plagiarism. We will discuss that guidelines about in this session later. The self-stealer means the writer borrows generously from his or her previous work, violating policies concerning the expectation of originally adopted by most academic institutions. In this kind of plagiarism, writer has taken the work, it is already done by him or his previous work without proper citation. So this kind of plagiarism is called the self-stealer plagiarism. Friends, so this is the 6 types of plagiarism practices those students and academic writer have done. In next slide, when do I need to cite? If a writer knows about this, then the percentage of plagiarism is decreased. So in this slide, I have made some points that when do any writer need to cite. Okay. First one, whenever you borrow words or ideas, you need to acknowledge their sources. The following situation almost always requires citation. Here I mention some situations when it is must require citations. First one, whenever you use quotes. If you use quotes in your writing or your in academic work, you need to cite it, and you must aware to proper citation, original resources citation you have to done in this point. After that, second one, whenever you paraphrase. If you making paraphrase, then you have to need the cite of previous author from where you take this material or words. So proper citation is needed when you paraphrase. Third one, whenever you use an idea that someone else has already expressed. If anybody expressed any idea and it is in the domain, then if you write that same idea, then you have to cite that person's work. Otherwise, it is called a plagiarism. After that, whenever you make specific references to the work of another, if you make critical analysis of review of research work or previous work, then you have to make specific reference to the work of that person and your work. If you not properly cited previous research work, then your entire work will be falls under the category of plagiarism. So you have to take very much care, then only the problem of plagiarism is decreased. Otherwise, a high percentage of plagiarism is found in your work. Then last one, whenever someone else's work has been critical in developing your own ideas. If you develop your own ideas, but it depends on someone other's work, then you have to cite that work in your academic writing. Otherwise, it falls under the category of plagiarism. So friend, this is the required situation when you must give the citation. Otherwise, your work would be get more plagiarism. The source of this slide you can see at the bottom of slide. After that, preventing plagiarism. How can we prevent the plagiarism? So here I mentioned some points. With the help of this point, you can prevent the plagiarism in your academic work. Number one, consult with your guide. If you do research, then you have to consult with your research supervisor frequently. Whenever you write something, you just show your research supervisor and take proper guidance that it is written scientifically or not. Your research supervisor will help you about this, about how to prevent plagiarism. So consult with your research supervisor frequently. Whenever you write something, you just consult with your research supervisor. And number two, plan your work. If you write a research paper, dissertation, research thesis, then you make proper planning to write this research paper or dissertation. And whenever you write about chapters or something, then you make that sure that your work is on according to that plan. Okay. So second point is that plan your work. Then third one, take effective notes. If you review some research studies, previous research studies, if you find some quotation, then you need to take effective notes. You have to write about that quotation, that original source in that notes. So it will be helpful in your research work when you at the final stage, then your final work will be almost completed. This kind of step, take effective notes, will be helpful to make proper citations. Number 4, when in doubt, cite sources. Whenever you doubt about some words or some quotation mark, please cite sources. Okay. Fifth one, make it clear who said what. As we earlier discussed in the quotation, if there is a quotation mark, you have to cite that original source. The same, make it clear who said what. If we fail to take the credit, to give the credit to original author, then it is also called a plagiarism. Okay. Number 6, know how to paraphrase. Just copying word from the previous study or previous research publication, it is not paraphrase. You must know how to paraphrase to preventing plagiarism. 7th, evaluate your sources. Whatever you taken from the research, previous researches or research publication, you just evaluate that sources, it is original or not. So friends, to prevent plagiarism, you can follow these 7 steps, guidelines or points. The source of these 7 points which I have mentioned, you can see the below of this slide. After that, we all know that UGC is the apex body of higher education, and UGC framed rules and regulation for higher education. In this slide, UGC gave the policy, plagiarism policy. File number you can see in the slide. Then the date of that policy is the 1st September 2017. According to this policy, UGC gave proper guideline about academic dishonesty. You can see in this slide similarity checks for exclusion from plagiarism. The similarity checks for plagiarism shall exclude the following: all quoted work either falling under public domain or reproduce all necessary. It means all quoted work is in the public domain, whatever reproduce, it not need permission of the author. So this is exclude from the plagiarism. Second one, all references, bibliography, table of content, preface and acknowledgements. So these all things also exclude from the plagiarism. References, bibliography, table of content may be same, preface and acknowledgements. In acknowledgements mostly word are same, so all these are excluded from the plagiarism. All small similarities of minor nature. If anyone research or academic work has similarities of minor nature, then it can be excluded from the plagiarism. All generic terms, laws, standard symbols and standard equations, all these are excluded from the plagiarism. So according to UGC guidelines, whatever material which is in public domain, it is free from plagiarism. Then all references, bibliography, table of content, preface and acknowledgements, all small kind of similarities in minor nature, and all generic terms, laws, standard symbols and standard equations, all these are excluded from the plagiarism as per UGC guideline of plagiarism. You can see the source of this slide at the below of this slide. After that, According to this plagiarism policy, UGC decided levels of plagiarism in non-core areas. For all other non-core cases, plagiarism would be quantified into following levels in ascending order of severity for the purpose of its definition. You can see in this slide, first one, similarities up to 10% excluded. It means if your work found 10% similarity from others' works, means you have permission to publish your work, means it is not considered as a plagiarism, because we already discussed in the previous slide the similarity in minor nature is excluded from the plagiarism. So as per UGC guideline, similarities up to 10% is excluded from the plagiarism. After that, UGC decided the three levels of plagiarism. You can see in the slide, level 1, similarities above 10% to 40%. It is level 1. If similarities of your work found above 10, below 10 it is excluded from the plagiarism. Okay. Then level 1, similarities above 10% to 14%. Level 2, similarities above 40% to 60%. Level 3, similarities above 60%. You can see the source of this slide the below of this slide. So UGC framed the three level of the plagiarism. First level is 10% to 14%, above 10% to 14%. Second level is 40% to 60%, and third level is similarities above 60%. You can see in this slide, according to UGC Plagiarism Policy 2017, penalties for the students. Okay. For this, UGC gave the guideline that every higher education institution, HEI, have to frame plagiarism disciplinary authority, and based on the recommendation of the academic misconduct panel, penalties for students have been decided. If student fails under the category level 1, means any student's work have a similarities. If below 10% similarities, then it is excluded from plagiarism, so he can submit his work. Okay. But any student found the similarities above 10% and below 40%, then it is the level 1 type of plagiarism. Such student shall not be given any mark and or credit for the plagiarized script, and shall be asked to submit a revised script within a stipulated time period not exceeding 6 months. So friends, you can see in this level 1 type of plagiarism, for the students the penalties decided is such students shall not given any mark or credit, and shall be asked to submit revised work within a stipulated time period not exceeding 6 months. Level 2, similarities above 40% to 60%. Such student shall not be given any mark or credit, means the level 1 also have same kind of guidelines for that plagiarized script, and shall be asked to submit a revised script after a time period of 1 year but not exceeding 18 months. So in level 1 we can see that student can submit his revised work within the time period not exceeding 6 months. So within a 6 months he or she can submit his revised work. In level 2, if a student found plagiarism 40% to 60%, then he or she have to revise his work, and after the time period of 1 year to 18 months, means 1.5 years, he or she can submit his revised work. Level 3, similarities above 60%. I mention this level 3 guidelines in red color font. Why I have mentioned that, you just see in that slide that the penalties for the student: such student shall not be given any mark and or credit for the plagiarized script, and his or her registration for that course to be cancelled. So this is the highest level of plagiarism, above 60%. Such students shall not be given any mark or credit, and the registration for that particular course to be cancelled according to this guideline. Friends, so penalties for the students for the different level 1, level 2 and level 3, you can see in this slide. The source of this slide, which I have mentioned at the below of this slide. Beside that, penalty or repeated plagiarism for the student, that is the provision. If any student repeatedly doing same kind of practice and repeatedly his or her work found in that category of plagiarism, such student shall be punished for the plagiarism of one level higher than the previous level committed by him or her. In case where plagiarism of highest level is committed, then the punishment for the same shall be operative. If students make repeated plagiarism, then if in first work he found the level 1 kind of level 1 plagiarism, repeatedly he found the same level plagiarism level 1, then the punishment of level 2 which be applicable for that student. In case a student find the highest level of plagiarism level 3, then the provision for the level 3 plagiarism policy as per UGC guidelines, and punishment for that student, it is applicable as per the level 3 guidelines. Beside that, you can see that in the second paragraph, penalty in case where the degree credit has already been obtained if plagiarism is proved on a date later than the date of award of degree or credit, as the case may be, then his her degree or credit shall be put in abeyance for a period decided by the AMP NPDA. If any student get the degree or credit and his or her work found plagiarized work at the later stage, then we know that AMP, academic misconduct policy, and then which is framed by higher educational institute, whatever time period they gave for their credit shall be put in a bench for the student have to accept. So this is the penalty if any student found his work plagiarized by later. Now friends, we discussed the penalties for the students. Now in this slide we are going to discuss about penalties for faculty, staff, researcher of higher educational institute. Same way, as we have three level of plagiarism, level 1, level 2 and level 3, the level of three level of plagiarism remains same for the faculty or staff researcher or of HI. Okay. Level 1, similarities above 10% to 40% shall be asked to withdraw the manuscript submitted for publication and shall not be allowed to publish any work for a minimum period of 1 year. If any faculty member research work or academic work found the similarity between about 10% to 40%, it means his or her work fell under the category level 1 of plagiarism. So his research work should not be published and should not be allowed to publish any work for a minimum period of 1 year. So he or she cannot publish his or her other work for the minimum period of 1 year. So the punishment or penalties for the level 1 for the faculty member or staff or researchers. Level 2, similarities above 40% to 60% shall be asked to withdraw manuscript submitted for publication and shall not be allowed to publish any work for a minimum period of 2 years and shall be denied a right to 1 annual increment and shall not be allowed to be a supervisor to any UG, PG, Masters, MPhil, PhD student scholar for a period of 2 years. So friends, you can see in this slide that any faculty member, staff or researcher and fall under this category level 2 plagiarism, similarities above 40% to 60%. So the provision for the penalties for the level 1 is remains same, but in addition to that faculty member or researcher not allowed to publish any work for period of 2 years, which is 1 year in level 1 plagiarism. In level 2 it is extended 1 more year, so minimum period of 2 years he or she cannot publish his research work. Beside that, shall be denied a right to 1 annual increment and shall not be allowed to be a supervisor to any UG, PG, Master, MPhil, PhD student scholar for a period of 2 years. So this is the penalties for a faculty member whose research work or academic writing found level 2 plagiarism. In the next slide, level 3, similarities above 60%. So friends, you can see in this slide penalties for faculty, staffs and researcher shall be asked to withdraw manuscript submitted for publications. It is remains same in level 1 plagiarism and level 2 plagiarism, and shall not be allowed to publish any work for a minimum time period of 3 years. In level 1 that time period of 1 year, in level 2 that time period of 2 years, in level 3 this time period is for 3 years, and shall be denied a right of 2 successive annual increments. So in level 1 there is no provision to deny annual increment. In level 2 shall be denied as a 1 annual increment, and in level 3 shall be denied a right to 2 successive annual increments. Beside that, he or she shall not be allowed to be a supervisor to any UG, PG, Master, MPhil, PhD student scholar for a period of 3 years. So this is the penalties for a faculty, staff, researcher of higher education institute for level 1, level 2 and level 3 type of plagiarisms. All three levels are decided by UGC plagiarism policy. Enhance the penalty on repeated plagiarism, as we discussed in that penalties for students repeated plagiarism. Here you can see that slide. Enhance the penalty on repeated plagiarism. Repeated plagiarism done by the faculty member shall be punished for the plagiarism of one level higher than the lower level committed by him or her. In case where plagiarism of highest level is committed, then the punishment for the same shall be operative. In case level 3 offence is repeated, then the concerned person shall be dismissed. So this is the penalties for repeated plagiarism. You can see in that in this slide, in case level 3 offences is repeated, means higher level plagiarized work found frequently, then the concerned person shall be dismissed from the job. So this is the penalties for faculty, staff member and researchers. You can see the slide. Penalty in case where the benefit or credit has already been obtained if plagiarism is proved on a date later than the date of benefit or credit obtained, as the case may be, then his her benefit or credit shall be put in abeyance for a period decided by the AMP and PDA on recommendation of the AMP. Same way that we discussed in the penalties for the students, here the same provision if any faculty members work found plagiarized work on later date. If there is any complaint of plagiarism against the head of an HEI, a suitable action in line with this regulation will be taken by the competent authority, governing body, governing council, as the title may be. So if any head of the institution, higher education institution, committed this kind of copied work which is falls under the category of level 1, level 2 or level 3, then suitable action according to this guideline will be taken by the competent authority. Self-plagiarism, as we already discussed in that types of plagiarism, self-stealing. Self-plagiarism means reusing work that you have already published or submitted for a class. It can involve resubmitting an entire paper, copying or paraphrasing passage from your previous work, or recycling old data. All this kind of work falls under the category of self-plagiarism. Self-plagiarism misleads your readers by presenting old work as a completely new and original. If you want to include any text, ideas or data that already appeared in a previous paper, you should always inform the reader of this by citing your own work. If you fail to do so, then it is called self-plagiarism. Friends, you can see the guideline of self-plagiarism given by the UGC in 20th April 2020. This is the UGC circular UGC circular for the Vice Chancellor for regarding self plagiarism. You can see that Vice Chancellor, Selection Committee, Screening Committee, IQAC heads, all experts involved, academic performance. Text recycling self plagiarism includes, you can see it is available at UGC website. You can see over there, but here I just show that what kind of work falls under self plagiarism. So republishing the same paper already published elsewhere without due and full citation, then it is called self plagiarism. Publishing smaller or expected work from a longer and previous without and full citation. So this kind of work falls under the category of self plagiarism. Self citation do not added any numbers to the individual citation index or edge index in global academia. So this is also we have to know that when our work, our original work, considered as a self plagiarism. So friends, this is the so this is the self plagiarism UGC circular we have seen. Now we're going to discuss about plagiarism checking software. You can see in this slide there are so many softwares available. Some of them are free and some of them are paid software. Urkund software, it is a plagiarism checking software. Then 13 software, then Authentic. Most of the publication houses uses these three kind of software. Then plagiarism checker is also a plagiarism checking software. Then Grammarly, then Copyscape, then Ginger, then PlagiScan, then DupliChecker. So these all are the plagiarism checking software. If you want to check your work before the submitting, you have to prepare a proper file. You have to rename by your name, because whenever we trying to check the plagiarism of our academic writing work, and there is a open source software available on internet, and you upload your work, then it is stored at any online platform. So when you submitting that work, that higher educational institute again check it is plagiarized or not, then they found that original source is available on any online platform, so that matches that similarity index, and your work maybe falls under the category of plagiarism. So you have to make proper rename of your research work file. Suppose I want to check my research paper, then I have to upload that paper on any online software. So I make proper rename of that file, that Dr. G.S. Patel research paper October 2020. So whenever any research publication house want to check that it work is plagiarized or not, so they found that my name, Dr. G.S. Patel research paper October 2020, the similarity of that work, so it can be excluded from the plagiarism. So friend, in this lecture we have discussed research ethics and plagiarism, and UGC guidelines for the plagiarism for the students and for the faculty members. I am very much so friends, in this session we have discussed about plagiarism, types of plagiarism, UGC guidelines regarding plagiarism for students and faculty members, and plagiarism checking software. Hope you enjoyed. Thank you very much.